Today I'm going to show you guys the all new raid mechanic and combos you can pull off with the Phoenixmon and the Marsmon deck. Digimon fans, welcome back, and today we'll be showcasing the Red Vaccine deck, which features mainly Phoenixmon and both Marsmon at the same time. BT11 introduced new support for Phoenixmon, and the all-new Marsmon with the Raid mechanic was debuted. While a Digimon that has Raid and attacks, it lets you switch the attack target to one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with the highest DP. It may sound odd at first, but it does let you activate a bunch of different effects at the same time to maximize your output and value when doing so. The Phoenixmon also has quite a bit of synergy with Marsmon, as it can utilize its on-deletion effects and inheritable on-deletion effects to play cards for free, and then you gain advantage for that way. Don't worry, as I will show you guys how it all works in the combo segment, but first let's show you guys what the build looks like. I am also super excited to announce a new feature on my channel where I launched my very first ever YouTube membership called the Avault Club. By joining, you will have access to exclusive perks and contents that regular viewers don't have. Perks include the Avault Club membership badge, and the best part is that you'll be able to see members only community posts featuring my first draft deck profiles even before the video comes out. You will see more updates by me for every deck profile release, and even updated deck lists and adjustments with all the lists. Your comments and questions will also have priority replies from me. So what are you guys waiting for? Click on the join button right now. Thank you all so much for the support, and I look forward to engaging with you guys. Right, so for Digi-8 cards, 4 copies of GrapLeomon is really all you need. When attacking once per turn, if this Digimon is 6000 DP or more, you get to draw 1 card. We got lots of DP buffs, lots of different ways to gather DP in this deck anyways, so GrapLeomon is really the best egg, and 4 is all you need. Next, we got the 4 copies of the brand new BT11 from BT11. This one's really important for the deck, and you definitely want to maximize 4 copies of, because it is your on-play searcher, revealing the top 3 cards of your deck, adding yourself 1 Digimon card with Vaccine as traits to your hand, and 1 red tamer among them, and then you place the rest at the bottom. So yeah, really good and important. It also has a inheritable of on deletion. If you have a red tamer in play, gain a memory, and it's going to be very important for the combos later on as well. So really good rookie generally. Then we got 4 copies of another BT11 from EX1. This one's very simple. Is when attacking once per turn, when this Digimon attacks a player, you get to draw a card. You're always going to be attacking your player, and then you're going to be using your raid combos afterwards, which I'll showcase you guys more in the combo segment. But being able to draw one is always very nice. Then to round off for all of our rookies, we got the 4 copies of Agumon here. This one is when attacking, when this Digimon attacks a player as well, extra 2000 DP for the turn. Really important, like I mentioned, getting more DP buffs is actually one of your biggest priorities in this deck as well. And it's always going to be really good. And the nice thing about this inheritable, it's not once per turn either. So there is something that has been bothering me while I was making this video, and that is because many of you guys who are watching right now are not even subscribed to the channel. And if you haven't done so yet, what are you waiting for? By subscribing and turning on that notification bell, you get to get notified with every single new Digimon video that comes out. We've got lots more deck profiles to showcase as well, so you definitely want to stay tuned. Don't forget to give this video a like while you're at it, because it really helps, and I really greatly appreciate the support from all of you, and thank you guys so much. But let's continue with our deck profile. That's it for all of our rookies. Let's talk about our level 4s. We do have the 4 copies of Digimon from BT11. This one is a blocker, but also has mainly its inheritable on deletion. You may play 1 red tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your hand for free, and that's going to be really important, because this is going to help you turbo out your tamers very quickly, and having a blocker is always just really nice. So really 2 good effects from just 1 card itself. Then we're also bringing back the OG Digimon from BT1. I'm really happy that we get to play some of the older cards right here, and there's a lot of nice synergy. This one is very simple, because on play, one of your Digimon gains security +1 for the turn, and it's going to be really good. Again, lots of really cool combos that we get to sort of like mesh with later on, and yeah, this gives you a little bit of the aggression, which I really like. Some of you guys might feel like you don't have to play as many of them, but 3 has worked out nicely for me so far. And then next, we also have 2 GrapLeomons. This one is Raid. Now, for what you guys don't know what Raid does, it basically lets you switch the attack target when you're attacking into one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with the highest DP. I'll talk about more how Raid works in the combo segment as well, so definitely stick around for that. But It's got Raid. It's really good for swinging over like smaller stuff in the early stage of the game, which is really, really nice. And sometimes you can get rid of really crucial Digimon on your opponent and punishes them for, pushing out too early as well. And then it has an inheritable of your turn once per turn when this Digimon's attack target is switched, mainly basically comboing with the Raid effects. This Digimon gets extra 3000 DP for the turn, which is a huge buff. Really, really nice card. And yeah, definitely really needed for the deck too, but not super important. And then last but not least, we have one hybrid to go for game. We do play a lot of handful of red tamers. I would sometimes argue and thought about bumping up the hybrid numbers just because it's going to be really helpful and really good, so you can make those extra swings and extra pushes to end games quicker. But for now, one is at least you want to have at least one. But otherwise, I would definitely recommend 2 or 3 as well. That's it for level 4s. Let's talk about our level 5s. I want to showcase you guys this brand new GrapLeomon right here, which is actually a main level 5, and he has Raid. We know what Raid does, but mainly we want to play for its inheritable because it's really, really good inheritable. Your turn once per turn, when this Digimon attack target is switched, you get to trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So it's really nice with your top end combos, you swing over stuff and trash your opponent's security at the same time, giving you lots of value and advantages. I would argue to even play 4 copies of this, but deck space is a little bit tight because we do have to make room for some other really decent and really good level 5s in the deck as well. But if you guys want consistency and want 4 copies of it, totally go for it, and I would not be against it either. Then we have the 2 brand new Garudamons. This one, from the Bergamon line, Digivolves, is also a blocker. And then it has an inheritable with its on deletion, exactly the same as Bergamon, is that it lets you play a red tamer with 4 costs or less from your hand for free, which is going to be really, really good. Then to round up for the level 5s, we are running like a Rise Greymon package right here. Because we play so many Tamers, it only makes sense to play Rise Greymon and Rise Greymon X to sort of synergize together. Rise Greymon, the red one, can Digiburst not once per turn as well, playing a red or yellow Tamer that is 4 costs from your hand for free. It also has a when attacking inheritable, which is really good because it's not once per turn. If you have a Tamer in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn, so it really makes it easy and help you swing over stuff with your top end combo once again. Rise Greymon X is very similar, letting you play more Tamers, but also you can get to reduce your opponent's DP as well for the turn for every Tamer you have, and a really strong Digimon as well, which is why I would definitely play this package right here. That's it for all of our level 5s. Let's talk about our level 6s. Our first key boss Digimon of the deck is definitely Phoenixmon right here. Your turn once per turn, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, you may activate one of this Digimon's on deletion effects. So Phoenixmon is really idea is to rack up as many different on deletion inheritables, but otherwise using its own on deletion effect is also really, really good, and that's mainly what you want to go for anyways. On deletion, you may play 1 red Digimon card with Avian, Bird, Beast, Animal, or Sovereign other than Sea Animal in one of their traits with 3000 DP or less from your hand for free. Now for each red tamer you have on play, you get to add extra 2000 to the maximum DP of that card that can be played with the effect, which is why you want to, rack up more red tamers so that you can play bigger things and bigger stuff and, continuing comboing on, which is really, really cool. And I really like how the whole idea of Phoenixmon has these on deletion effects, and then they sort of revive, kind of like an actual Phoenix, with the whole reborn idea and the lore and all that trivia behind it, which is really, really cool. But yeah, this is your first main Digimon, boss Digimon engine that you want to be running. Next, we actually have a secondary boss Digimon. It's arguable between which one's the primary because both of them are really, really important, but we have the 3 copies of Marsmon here. He is the raid king of this deck because it lets you swing over your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with the highest DP. It also has when Digivolving Blitz. Your turn once per turn, when one of the Digimon attacks target is switched, you get to unsuspend this Digimon and gain 1 memory for each red tamer you have in play, giving you a lot of value when you get into him. He is 4 cost to Digivolve, but then it becomes very memory efficient. You can do double swings with its combos, which is why this card is really, really good. And this is like your powerhouse swinger and sort of like your offensive guy of the deck for sure. And then last but not least, the round up for the level 6s, I do want to play 1 Zuchaomon right here as like my own personal tech choice, because when Digivolving, your opponent chooses one of their Digimon and delete all their other Digimon other than the Digimon that they chose. Now for each Digimon delete by this effect, you get to gain 1 memory. Also, its secondary effect is your turn when opponent's Digimon is deleted, this Digimon gains security +1 for the turn for each of your opponent's Digimon that is deleted. Zuchaomon does cost a lot, but it's really great at punishing wide boards. Really strong DP as well. And when you're against matchups that has like, again, a super wide board, you can pop multiple things. Digivolve Zuchaomon for a very, very effective cost because you gain your memory back, and then you can go for aggressive plays with its security +1. It can even just finish games sometimes, which is why it's really, really good, and I love it as a one-off tech. That's it for all of our Digimon. Let's talk about our Tamers. Let's showcase you guys the core main Tamer of the deck, where we have the 4 copies of Akiho right here. She is definitely your main Tamer. She only costs 3 to play, but on play, she searches for 1 Digimon card with vaccine in its traits, and you get to add them to your hand. Really great, and then you can place the rest at the bottom. Your turn, when you play a red Digimon with avian, bird, beast, animal, sovereign other than sea animal in its traits, by suspending her, you get to give it rush. So then you can basically attack very quickly with it, and it's going to be really cool with your combos again. She enables really nice combos and really give you value alongside with your Phoenixmon as well, and yeah, which is why you want to run 4 copies of her. Next, I have 2 heroes as the memory tamer. I opted in for hero simply because he is your DP buff guy. I mentioned how DP buff is really important, and there's so many ways to gain DP in this deck anyways, and you want to synergize it. That is mainly for your Marsmon Raid combos, which is why I definitely want to go for him. Then we have 3 copies of the Tai and Kari. Tai and Kari just gives you lots of memory, really good. Lets you swing into security safely as well. And yeah, the fewer security you have, you gain a memory at the start of your turn. If your opponent has 3 or less security, you also gain another memory. Really great late game card for sure. Also because it's red and yellow. It doesn't have too much synergy with its color, but otherwise they generally are just really good tamers to give you more value in memory. Then for more value in memory, this one's more optional. I do play the 3 copies of Yole. Very simple, because at the start of your main phase, if you do have a red Digimon in play, you get to gain a memory with no like caveats whatsoever, which is really, really nice. She does have a second effect. When one of your Digimon with 2 or more colors attacks, you may suspend her to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Right now, as of moment in this current build, there's not too much synergy with that going on, simply because I don't play a lot of Rise Greymon X's, and I don't have that many double color cards in this deck. So I am going to be debating maybe switching her out for something else, but otherwise she does give you so much value anyways, generally, with that extra memory gain, and you do want to maximize as many red tamers as you can to play, because you want to maximize your other effects. So Yole is just my current choice, but I do have other suggestions I can throw in to show you guys later as well. So that's it for all the tamers. Just to round off for the options, we play 2 Magma Bombs, which has a lot of synergy with this deck, because when you would use this card, if you have a red tamer in play, you get to reduce the cost by 1, so making it effectively a 5 cost, and it basically deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. And then security effect activates the main effect. I just like this option because it has quite a decent amount of synergy. You can use your raid combos to swing over your opponent's unsuspended stuff, and then use this option to finish off anything that's like left in the board that's big and really important, and basically try to sort of like clear as much Digimon as you can on their board generally. So yeah, this is why I decided for Magma Bomb. Okay, that's it for the 50 card main deck. Let's show you guys other alternative cards I can actually add into this deck based on your personal preference and options and choices. There's quite a few ways I can play around with this deck, but the first few cards I want to show you as a rookie is Barramon. Barramon is very simple, gives an inheritable. Your turn once per turn when this Digimon attack target is switched, this Digimon gains extra 3000 DP for the turn. So exactly the same as GrapLeomon. But I don't feel like I really need as much because the draw power that I have already is kind of nice, but you know, still not a bad card to have for sure if you want to focus a lot on raiding. Next one, we have another Biomon from BT2. This one's really interesting because on deletion, if it's your turn, you get to gain a memory, and this is actually really cool because it can combine with your Akiho and your sort of Phoenixmon, and then you get to play this Biomon from your hand with Phoenixmon sort of like on deletion effect, and you get to suspend Akiho to give it rush and gives you that extra swing. And even if it gets deleted, you're continuing to get value because you get to gain the memory and you can continue playing your turn, which is why this Biomon is actually a highly considerable, really good rookie for this deck as well that you guys should definitely think about. Then we got another Birdramon. This one's a little bit more simple from EX1. Just has an inheritable of when attacking, not once per turn though. When this Digimon attacks a player, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon that's 3000 DP or less. Really great for getting rid of Floodgate rookies, small rookies, or whatever that your opponent has that when they try to sort of go wide with the rookies in general. And yeah, this is also a really decent card. Definitely not bad as a one-off tech. And then you can also even play a Blitz Omni to go for game, because if you want to go for a more aggressive approach, you can definitely swing in for as much damage as you can and sort of try to take down your opponent's security, and then you can finish the game with Blitz Omni to unsuspend and then swing again. And yeah, always a nice card because it can digivolve essentially on top of any of the red level 6s that you have in the deck. For another tamer, other than Hero or maybe even Yole, you can actually play Tai Kamiya. Tai Kamiya gives you extra checks into security. Again, really like sort of adding and more addition to your aggressive playstyle if you like that. Sounds kind of weird because usually I do like the aggressive playstyle more so than ever, but I really wanted to showcase and I really like the synergy and the combos I can pull off with the Phoenixmon and Marsmon together and have a more wider range of things to do to sort of combat against different matchups for this deck in particular. But otherwise, yeah, really great because memory tamer and you get to deal more security damage, which is always nice. For other options, really good. Sunrise Buster is actually a really good card that you can add for removal because it lets you play a yellow or red tamer for free, and then you get to like minus 3000 DP for every tamer you have on your opponent's Digimon, which is why it's really, really good. Great for removing big stuff. And we do have a handful of like red and yellow targets to help fulfill, sort of like achieve this goal with Sunrise Buster, but not a lot. I don't play a whole lot of Rise Greymons X, so which is why I decided not to add this. But if you guys do play a big package of Rise Greymon and Rise Greymon X, this is definitely a considerable card. For more removal, we have Crimson Flare. Really great synergy as well with the entire deck because it gets to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8000 DP or less. Essentially most any level 5s, which is really good to punish like early promotes. And then you have a red tamer in play. You get to activate one on deletion effect of your red Digimon with vaccine as traits, so they can actually activate your Phoenixmon on deletions or any of the inheritables, giving you quite a lot of value, which is really, really good sometimes too. And then its security effect activates its main effect basically. And then, last but not least, a very simple red staple recommendation if you guys don't want to run Yole or don't want to run extra tamers or just want more consistency in searching. There's already enough searching generally. It's kind of strange that this deck doesn't really need the red memory boost as much compared to most other red decks generally, but definitely still a really good option to have because it's one of the best staples in the game. Okay, so that's it for all the cards I wanted to talk about. Let's show you guys the key combos of this deck. There's actually two main key combos because one is being your Marsmon combo and the other one being your Phoenixmon combo. But let's showcase you guys the Phoenixmon combo first. This is very straightforward. The idea and approach and strategy of this deck is just build your stack, and then you just want to play as many tamers as well at the same time. So when you hatch, it really doesn't really matter what you digivolve in the early stages. Definitely you always want to be digivolving your Agumon and the EX1 Biomon, because then you can save this one for searching, which is really important. But otherwise, digivolving any of these is not too bad, depending on what your hand looks like at any given time. So let's just say we digivolve into this Biomon here. We'll put these two right here for now, and then you can digivolve into any of your level 4s. Ideally, it will be your Bergermon here because you're going into trying to go for your Phoenixmon combo, and then for level 5s, you can digivolve into Rise Greymon or Garudamon. Keep in mind, if you go into Rise Greymon, it means you are going to be digibursting. You're going to be deleting some of your inheritables that could be very helpful for you. But otherwise, setting up tamers is very crucial because in the early stages of the game, playing one of the Akihos is not too bad to help you search and help you set up a little bit. But afterwards, you want to play all your tamers via your different effects, such as Rise Greymon or Garudamon if you digivolve it, and you just stay in raising. And once you have Phoenixmon, you're pretty much ready to go. You can even just digivolve into Phoenixmon on the back because it doesn't have really much any when digivolving effects. But once you have a Phoenixmon, you can just basically push it out and start doing combos. You can use Phoenixmon to basically swing at your opponent's security, and because something is removed from your opponent's security, you get to activate a whole bunch of effects. Of course, with Garurumon, you get to draw one. Now you get to choose any of its on-deletion effects. If you want to go for Bergermon, totally good to play more tamers. Garudamon, exactly the same. Otherwise, you want to use Phoenixmon's secondary on-deletion effect right there to play something from your hand. Well, it really depends on what you really have available because you want to be setting up as many tamers as you can. The more Akihos you have, the better. The more different tamers like Tai, Kari, Yole, and your memory tamer. So that's why setting up as many of them gives you even more value. Now, the more you have, once again, I guess even better because you can play lots of really cool stuff with it. With Phoenixmon's on deletion, you can actually play something like level 5. Then you can digivolve into level 6 afterwards later on and continue your plays. And then to showcase you guys the BT1 Bergermon combo, which is kind of neat, is that if you ever get to play the Bergermon, you can suspend the Akiho, give this Bergermon rush, and you get to choose something that gains security +1. You can choose this one in particular, but otherwise you usually want to be giving it to something else later in the game, so then that bigger Digimon can swing over big stuff. If you have a lot of memory to work with, you can Digivolve your way upwards into eventually a Marsmon as well if you want to. So definitely has some really cool synergy combos, but I'll show you one at a time first, and then I'll show you guys more of those overlapping combos too that you get to play. So really interesting right here. That's really all it does. Otherwise, sometimes you don't really want to be attacking too much with your Phoenixmon simply because it doesn't have a lot of DP, but if you get to swing over stuff, that's totally fine as well. You want to have a stick on board so you can use its on deletion effects with the second thing over and over again by removing your opponent's security at the same time. So this is now where we're going to showcase you guys the Marsmon combo. Of course, while at that, you want to build your secondary stack. If not, you can actually build your stack outside as well if you can. If you have played stuff with Phoenixmon's effect, you Digivolve into an Agumon here or Biomon. Ideally, it can be really anything you prefer. Then you can Digivolve into a GrapLeomon. Sometimes you don't really get the luxury of choice because you don't play a lot of GrapLeomon, so you might have to Digivolve it into a Birdramon just because. And building the stack is really just the priority. But what you really want to be seeing as your level 5 will be your GrapLeomon. And then when you're ready to push out, you can push it out, Digivolve it into Marsmon. Memory doesn't matter too much with Marsmon combo because it does have Raid and Blitz, mainly because it's Blitz and it can unsuspend as well. But let's just say if you have 3 memory because you have a memory tamer, then that's great. So you pay the 4, and then immediately with Marsmon you get to Raid and Blitz. So what you want to do with the Raid combo is you would declare that you swing at your opponent's security first. You draw with Gurimon. Agumon's going to give you extra 2000 DP for the turn, but now if your opponent has a unsuspended Digimon with the highest DP on the board, then you get to switch with Raid into that target. So you don't attack your opponent's security and immediately redirects to your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with the highest DP. And because you did that, GrapLeomon's Inheritable will activate, giving you extra 3000 DP for Marsmon. Marsmon right now will be at 17k DP, and then you get to use GrapLeomon's Inheritable. Because you switch the target, you get to trash your opponent's security, and you get to activate Marsmon's third effect, where your turn once per turn, when a Digimon attack target is switched, you get to unsuspend him, and then you get to gain a memory for every tamer you have. So the more tamers you have, the more value you get. Let's just say in this case you have 5. That's really optimal and really good. But usually you have like around 3, so you can gain like 2 back to 2 memory right here, and then you get to unsuspend him and swing over that guy right there. Now you get to repeat again. If your opponent has another unsuspended Digimon, you can do it again. So you can swing into them, declaring into your opponent's security. Now this time Agumon's not once per turn, so it's giving you another extra 2000 DP right here, which is going to be really good. Marsmon's going to be at 19k at this point. You can swing over anything. Keep in mind, other effects right there is basically once per turn, so you don't really get to trash your opponent's security again, but that's totally fine. But let's just say during the first time when you did, Phoenixmon combos in, because your turn once per turn, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, you get to activate one of this Digimon's on deletion, and that's when you get to play this Birdramon, and then you can combo and play around. If your Marsmon doesn't have anything to swing over to Raid again, then you can swing at your opponent's security, and then once you play this Birdramon, you give your Marsmon extra security +1 to go for the aggressive plays right there, and comboing, and just super cool. Otherwise, Phoenixmon can play other bunch of stuff too. Like I mentioned earlier, you can play another GrapLeomon, let's just say right here. And then that means your turn, you can still now go again. You can also suspend the Akiho to give it rush, so then it can actually attack this turn. And then if you have another Marsmon, you can Digivolve it for 4 on top of GrapLeomon right here. And then you get to do a Raid and Blitz combo once again if you want to. Otherwise, yeah, you can swing, trash your opponent's security. You get to suspend the hero to give it extra 2000 DP. Suspend Tai and Kari to reduce your opponent's security as well at the same time. So really cool synergy between these two cards when you do manage to build a stack right here. Really great value if you see Marsmon first in the early stages of the game, because you can then go for offensive plays. Just as good value if you see Phoenixmon first, because you can establish it. Once you establish Phoenixmon and also Tamers, then you get to sort of utilize Marsmons and play these and Digivolve over GrapLeomon and sort of do this Marsmon combo. So they really synergize greatly together, and that's really how you want to be playing this deck in general. Just basically sequencing your different effects, knowing what combos you're trying to go for, Digivolving, and then as you Digivolve, play more Tamers, everything's going to come through nicely all together in the end. So yeah, That'll wrap up for the deck profile today. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. We got lots more Digimon videos and content coming, so definitely hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video, and it's Avault signing out.